Welcome to the Literary World channel, your space to delve into the most captivating stories in the literary universe. If you are passionate about books that make you laugh, sigh, and dream of unlikely loves, you are in the right place. Today we are going to talk about a book that combines romance, humor, and unusual situations. The Unhoneymooners, by the authors Christina Lauren. In this video, I will tell you everything about this bestseller that has won over thousands of readers around the world. If you are a fan of romantic comedies with a good dose of sarcasm and captivating characters, stay until the end, because this book will surprise you. Before we delve into the story, leave your like here on the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our reviews of fantastic books. And of course, activate the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Oh, and if you want to check out the full story at the end, just click on the link in the description to get your copy, either in physical or audio format. Let's start by talking a little about the authors of The Unhoneymooners. Christina Lauren is actually the pseudonym of a writing duo, Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings. They are known for their stories full of humor, romance, and that touch of emotion that wins the hearts of readers. Together they have published several books, including other hits such as Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating and Roomies. Their writing style is light, fun, and full of sharp dialogues, which makes for an extremely engaging read. The Unhoneymooners is a perfect example of this. A plot with comical situations and a romance that develops in a surprising way, without losing its rhythm. Now, let's talk about the main characters who bring this story to life. Starting with Olive Torres, the protagonist. Olive is an intelligent, witty woman with a unique sense of humor. However, she has what seems to be an endless history of bad luck, which makes her feel constantly frustrated. Olive's twin sister Ami, on the other hand, seems to be the personification of luck. Everything in Ami's life happens perfectly, from her job to her love life. Olive lives in the shadow of this comparison, and it affects her deeply. But don't think that Olive is a helpless victim. She is brave, fearless, and faces life's challenges with a sarcasm that makes the reader laugh in several scenes. And then, we have the main male character, Ethan Thomas, the best man at Ami's wedding and, coincidentally, Olive's greatest enemy. Ever since they met, Ethan and Olive have hated each other. The animosity between the two is almost palpable, and the reader quickly realizes that there is a strong tension behind this hatred, something that goes beyond first impressions. The plot of The Unhoneymooners unfolds in a rather unusual setting. The wedding of Ami, Olive's sister, should be the most perfect and lucky event of the year. However, a disaster occurs. The entire party, except Olive and Ethan, ends up poisoned by spoiled food from the buffet. This includes Ami and her newlywed husband, who are unable to enjoy the honeymoon that had already been paid for. And guess who are the only two healthy people who can enjoy this trip? Yes, Olive and Ethan. Now, imagine having to go on a honeymoon trip with a person you hate. To make matters worse, they have to pretend to be a couple in love to keep up appearances. since the honeymoon was a gift that came with some conditions. This means sharing forced romantic moments, intimate dinners, and even sleeping in the same room. The plot begins with this hilarious and absurd premise, and from there, we follow the evolution of the relationship between Olive and Ethan. The tension between them is evident from the beginning, but as the days pass in the Hawaiian paradise, something unexpected begins to happen. If you're a fan of the enemies to lovers trope, prepare to delight in every page of this book. Olive and Ethan's relationship begins as pure sarcasm and teasing. Barbs fly back and forth, with dialogues full of irony and humor. However, as they are forced to spend more time together, some layers begin to peel back. Olive's bad luck and Ethan's apparent coldness gradually reveal other facets of these characters. Olive, for example, begins to realize that perhaps her bad impression of Ethan was based on misunderstandings. And Ethan, in turn, begins to see Olive beyond her sarcastic exterior, seeing a woman full of passion and integrity. The dynamic between them changes. At first, there is a clear animosity, but over time, small moments of vulnerability emerge, such as in a specific scene where Olive gets hurt during an excursion, and Ethan, unexpectedly, shows himself to be extremely concerned. These small moments break down the barriers between them, until both are forced to face reality. Could this feeling of hatred have always been, in fact, an unresolved attraction? Of course, as in every good romance, not everything is a bed of roses. In the case of the Unhoneymooners, the twists and turns and conflicts are part of the fun. At a certain point, Olive begins to suspect Ethan's intentions. Has he really changed his opinion of her? Or is he just pretending so that they can both enjoy their honeymoon without conflicts? One of the most striking moments in the book is when Olive discovers that Ethan is keeping a secret that could jeopardize the relationship that is slowly being built between them. This revelation puts everything at risk and makes us question what is true and what is just part of the deal between them. The authors, Christina Lauren, do a fantastic job of building tension at this point in the plot. Just like Olive, the reader also feels unsure about what is to come. Is what the characters have started to feel real? Or is it all just a facade? This doubt permeates much of the book and keeps the reader engaged until the end. Without giving away any spoilers, I can assure you that the ending of The Unhoneymooners is satisfying and unexpected in the right measure. The story is about surprises and how things don't always go as planned, but this may be exactly what we needed. The ending perfectly balances the humor that runs throughout the plot with emotional and reflective moments. It's one of those endings that leaves you with a smile on your face, and a sense that the characters really did go on a journey of self-discovery. An interesting point in The Unhoneymooners is that, besides being a love story, it is also a story about luck and bad luck, about how we deal with life's difficulties and the surprises that fate has in store for us. Olive, for example, begins to realize that, perhaps, luck is not just something that happens to you, but rather a matter of perspective. Ethan, on the other hand, needs to learn to deal with his own expectations and prejudices. Together, they show that, sometimes, what we avoid the most can be what we need the most to grow as people. It is this mix of humor, romance, and life lessons that makes The Unhoneymooners such an enjoyable and memorable read. Now it's your turn. Have you read The Unhoneymooners? What did you think of this journey? Leave your opinion about the book in the comments, or if you haven't read it yet, if you're curious to learn more about this fun and exciting story. Don't forget to subscribe to the Literary World channel for more reviews and recommendations of incredible books. Activate the bell to receive all the news and, of course, if you want to guarantee your copy of The Unhoneymooners, whether in physical or audio format, the link is here in the description. You won't regret it. And remember, books like this are a great way to escape the routine, have fun, and even learn more about ourselves and our relationships. So, how about setting aside some time for a good read? After all, as the famous writer Jorge Luis Borges said, "I always imagined that paradise was a kind of bookstore."